And then also go to verse 14. Because the life of every creature is its blood. This is why I have said to the Israelites, you must not eat the blood of any creature, because the life of every creature is its blood. Anyone who eats it must be cut off. So the reason for that, because the blood represents life. Okay, that's what it's saying. So when we see, now, there's a lot of significance to this when we really start to think about what he's saying. The blood of you'll eat the animals, but you won't eat their blood. That represents life that comes from me. Okay? So, when we think like some of the occult things we were talking about before, like the vampires. See what that would represent? See, that's doctrine of the demons. They're second life because it's the blood that God created. So it's basically saying that if I don't respect, see, that's God gave life. And the life comes through the blood that I put in them. Therefore, another reason is telling it has to be killed properly, not to be eaten raw. They must be killed properly. It must be dead, okay, not tortured, and then blood out, and bled out and stuff like that. See, because there's a reason, very significant, right. And there's all builds up to because, right, all the life comes from the blood, and we see it from all the animals as a sacrifice for the foreshadowing of the blood that God spills. Okay.
I have a question. Is there really a proper way to kill an animal? I mean, like the way we kill cows, we basically take a hammer to the head kind of thing.
No, what he's saying for is there's a certain way to prepare.
Yeah, and to kill it. No, to kill it. In other words, don't make it suffer.
Okay.
So I'm saying, you're to kill the animal, not to make it suffer. Torture the animal or make it suffer.
Or
things.
Eat it while it's alive. Right?
Yeah, you don't sit there like, for instance, bleed it out and say, okay, let's drain the blood, it's flopping around. You should kill the animal, and then it's a proper way.
Oh, I know that. I was just saying, like, if there was like an actual proper way, like give it like kind of a proper death kind of thing, or.
Well,
a quick death is to be proper.
A quick death would be proper. But the main point is, he's already starting with the blood. Remember, you already see the lifelines are blood. So we already see the main thing we're seeing here is the blood is the life of all creatures. He said. So coming from the blood of you, me, animals, and Christ that will spill is life. It's going to represent new life. See what I'm saying? That's why it's significant. Okay? To disregard that, okay, is to disregard what God's created. Because he just told us in Leviticus, what did he say? It's the blood that gives life. Okay? See what I'm talking about? It's a respect for, it's kind of, it gets, you can get kind of deep with that, all right? So, the blood represents new life. That's exactly what the blood does. Let's look at a couple of those. Go to Romans 5:9. Someone go to Romans.
That's really interesting, man.
Yeah, it really is.
Very much so.
It's kind of hard to teach all that in one, because from there, that's all significant from there all the way through the whole Bible.
Okay, well, then I have another question for you. This may be out of context, but I'm really curious. I mean, you know how we order a steak, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, well, some people like it rare.
Right.
Is that wrong?
I don't know if it's a sin or wrong. Some people might say it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't think.
We technically are eating the blood.
Yeah.
It's not blood. Isn't it just the juice from the muscle?
No, it's blood.
Blood.
Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to eat it raw. You know what I'm saying?
So, if it's cooked, it's all right.
Yeah, if it's cooked, that's what he's saying. I think there's a proper, I think, I think that would be kind of a...
If it's prepared properly, though, they drain the blood from the animal.
Right.
Yeah, but there's still blood in the muscle.
If it's completely drained, it makes it kosher.
I heard it was urine.
Really?
Well, no, that's a whole different thing. Like with deer.
It's cellular stuff, but it's
Right.
not like when they butcher an animal,
bleed
it's
it
the
out.
way they bleed it out. Yeah, so.
But I think that the main point is that your meat should be cooked. Your meat needs to be
What you're
cooked.
saying is it can't be the animal alive, eating it alive, or hurting it to the point where you can eat it with the blood.
Or a lot of people will do. Let's say they go in and take a bite of this, the blood. You know what I'm saying? All
Right.
if you look at a lot of those things, those rituals are all pagan.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about here? If you take a bite of the heart, after you kill the animal, it makes you a man. Things like that. There's all kinds of rituals.
Or you get this life essence.
Right.
Like
That's another thing too. See how people, even the pagan religion, say you get life out of the blood?
Yep.
See? Isn't that interesting?
It makes you immortal, things like that.
Well,
See?
it's about drinking blood. There's some pagan things they actually drain the blood and they drink it, but
Right.
just meat itself, if it's butchered correctly, that's not.
Yeah. I don't think that's really an issue. Some theologians do say that. Yeah, it has to be. But I don't think that's the issue if you're eating a raw steak, like a rare steak.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying? I think it was an issue though. Yeah, if you're just cutting off a cow and eat, you know what I
Right,
mean?
literally, it's
I think,
big.
yeah, you know, is that a sin? I don't,
It's the blood
you
and
know.
the arteries in the veins.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe that's what he's talking about, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's more of that,
Yeah,
exactly.
the muscle is just,
Well,
I mean,
Right.
what's interesting about that is that must have been a big thing back then if you had to tell him, listen.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think there's probably a lot of cannibalism and stuff going on too. You know what I'm
Like
saying?
actually eating people and stuff like that.
People, and even with the animals, you know what I'm saying? They might just, just cut a leg off the animal suffering, and they're sitting there,
Suck the blood out of it.
yeah, all kinds of things like that. You know, we don't see a lot of that in our culture, but that stuff goes on.
That's
Some weird stuff goes on out there. You know what I'm talking about? Remember taking a bite out of a dog's leg or something to walk around.
That's why you see the three-legged dog.
You know what I'm saying?
not to mention, it's unhealthy.
Oh, yeah.
So Romans 5:9 says, who has Romans 5:9? Okay.
You want me to take it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Since we have not been justified by his blood.
Since we have now been.
Oh, I'm sorry, thank you. Since we have now been justified by his blood, how much more shall we be saved from God's wrath through him?
Okay, so there we see God right there. Jesus' blood. The blood represents new life. This is really interesting. So the blood, remember right there, he said, what was it? The life of the creature. See significance to it? So now we see here all the way through, it represents and justifies us. It's new life. Let's go to do a couple more of those. Go to Hebrews. We'll go to Hebrews. We'll do a few of them. Hebrews 9:14.
So do you think that when they ate of the tree, it poisoned their blood? In a sense, it cursed their blood? In the sense that we were immortal and now we're not?
No, I don't think anything to do with that. It was just the idea that the blood in your veins is what is the life that you know what I'm saying? Is your life. He tells you what it is. That's what the life. Without your blood, there is no life.
Right, that's a fact.
So, that's another thing too. Make sure the blood's drained. That's another thing. Let's understand. I think it basically comes down to is this. The reason for the blood, get rid of the blood, so it's dead when you're eating the animal.
Right.
Okay, that's what it's saying. Okay, the main reason is, whether you're eating rare steak or whatever,
Right.
I don't think it's making a reference to that.
Right.
I think it's more of,
Is the animal dead? Yeah.
the life, the blood is gone from the animal. That's the life of the animal. Make sure it's dead.
Yeah.
Make sure it's dead. Right.
Yeah, and there's juice and muscles, yeah.
So that tells me,
It's not
the
blood.
Canaanites and the, like if we keep reading our Numbers and the Deuteronomy, he's telling don't be like what they did, their gods, and with the way they were doing things, because you'll be cut off doing that. They were doing cannibalism. They were doing some weird stuff with their animals. But think about it, even the priests, they were allowed to eat the animals. They drained the blood, they sacrificed it, and then they ate that.
Right.
Okay, but they didn't do it with the blood in there.
Right.
See, because it represents life. We have no right to take the life of someone. That's one reason we're going to see as we go on. What was Hebrews 9:14?
Yeah. How much more then will the blood of Christ, who through the eternal Spirit offered himself unblemished to God, cleanse our consciences from acts that lead to death, so that we may serve the living God?
Okay, and then go to, so that blood there, we have the blood that justifies us, represents new life. We have the blood that cleanses us, Hebrews 10:19.
Therefore, brothers, since we have confidence to enter the most holy place by the blood of Jesus, you want me to keep going?
Yeah.
By a new and living way opened for us through the curtain that is his body, and since we have a great priest over the house of God, let us draw near to God with a sincere heart and full assurance of faith, having our hearts sprinkled to cleanse us from a guilty conscience, and having our bodies washed with pure water. How far do you want me to go?
That's fine. So we see that the blood there gives us entrance to God. Okay, I'm going to come around in a circle with this. Go to another one, Hebrews 13:12.
And so Jesus also suffered outside the city gates to make the people holy through his own blood.
Okay, so the blood sanctifies us. It sets us apart. That's what that means, sanctifies us. It sets us apart. So we see the blood justifies us, it cleanses us, gives us entrance to God, the presence of God. It also sanctifies us, sets us apart. Okay, so the blood represents new life, and it tells us even back in Leviticus what it represents the life of all creatures. All right. So the point of that is, if we reject, when we reject the cross, okay, Christ on the cross, we're rejecting the blood He shed for us. Okay, so go to Hebrews 9:22. Okay.
In fact, the law requires that nearly everything be cleansed there is no forgiveness.
Okay, so those who reject the blood, there is no forgiveness. And what does it say in Leviticus? Those who do that and kill with the blood are cut off. It's the same thing. See my point? So in Leviticus, it says the blood, if right? If you don't drink the blood, you don't do this properly, okay, because it's life I gave, it's the same thing, okay? You're cut off. If we reject the work of Christ on the cross, we're rejecting the blood he shed for me, so therefore, there's no sin offering for me, so I'm cut off. See the significance? Because what? Blood all through the Bible represents life and newness. Huh?
We worship a blood god.
Oh, well, I guess in a sense if you want to look at it that way. But the blood represents life.
Right.
You see what I'm talking about? It's very, I mean, that can get really, really deep. We can get really, really deep into that. But
Technically, if you think about it, our God is a God of blood. I mean, he did require blood sacrifices.
Yep.
So, like I said, like he said, he technically is a blood
And they're even
God.
going to do it a little bit after the millennial reign.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be
I mean, it wasn't
sometime.
yeah, there is sacrifices, actually.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
It wasn't
There is
until
sacrifices.
Jesus, because his blood was the ultimate blood sacrifice that we didn't have to anymore. So,
Right.
yeah, so I guess right, he is a.
The whole point is, even from Genesis on, we see from Genesis, see the significance of the blood going on. As he shows that the blood is life, and out of the life of the human, out of the life of the Son of God. See, and only that blood only comes through God. Only God gives us life through the blood. Without blood, you can have that body. Without that blood, you're dead. You're dead.
You can't live with that.
Yeah. See, pretty interesting.
You have to have it.
Yeah, you have to have the blood. Drain the blood. The person that's what's dead. You don't. Okay. Anything outside of that is not of God. We have to understand that.
When you look about it, it seems kind of special to human beings. Like, oh my God, that's that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is. It really is. It's like the most important thing.
Yeah.
5 and 6, verses 5 and 6.
Genesis?
And for your lifeblood I will surely, back and forward, but you must not eat meat that has its lifeblood still in it, in verse 5. And for your lifeblood I will surely demand an accounting. I will demand an accounting from every animal, and from every man too. I will demand an accounting for the life of his fellow man. All right? Verse 6, whoever sheds the blood of a man, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of God has God made his man. Okay, God set up government already right here. It's the first form right here of capital punishment. He's telling you right here, any man who takes the life of another man will be killed for it. He will also die for it. And any animal, it even includes animals. So any vicious animal, so if an animal, so when people see this animal act right, we can't do this to animals. When they viciously attack a person, we're not talking about you're provoking an animal that kills you, even though you will kill it. But that's what he's saying. They'll give an account too, even animals. Animals give account to God. So you got like these dogs, they go on the attack. We're to put those dogs down. They are to be killed. It's the dog doesn't know what he's doing. Okay? No, the dog's to be killed. The same as a man. When we take life, here's the thing. I think people don't understand. This is from the beginning. When we don't do capital punishment, you're going to answer for that. You're sharing. You are sharing in the wickedness. God says. That's saying that. Well, and I hear this. God forgives. That's right. God forgives. But the point is, God says you took the life that I created. Because what does it say there? He says, for in the image of God has God made man. So in other words, who am I? I'm taking the image of God. I'm killing it.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? That's like the ultimate thing you're doing. God makes it very clear. Okay? Any man who takes another man's life will die for that. Murder, not for for no reason. Premeditated murder, not killing like in war. We're not talking like that. We're talking murder.
Right.
He said, and he murdered somebody. Okay, very simple. A lot of reasons for that. He's setting up government. Think about if we did capital punishment. Do you think our murder rate go way down?
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay, murder creates it's like a disease that goes through society. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's funny. I was just watching it was one of these things on TV in the jails, and this kid was talking about he killed. It was like 3 people. He's talking about how bad it was, and this really blew my mind. People don't really understand how serious this stuff is, and I didn't realize he took life of it was like I can't remember. It was 3 people, but right, and he felt bad about it, but he didn't realize how significant until his grandmother died. Now think about it, his grandmother's died, then he realized how important it was. This is the first time he ever had a loss. His grandmother only died. He took life. And then he's sitting there living. See, the point of that is that this guy didn't even realize how serious it is to take life.